Hi everyone. So this is going to be a quick take on this full moon that is actually going to be exact tonight in North America. It is a challenging moon, and so I felt the urge, the inspiration to come on, and I need some guidance through it. So I'm assuming you guys who watch these videos may need some too. Just a couple things astrologically. It's in the sign of Aquarius. But it is, in some pretty challenging aspects. There are a lot of oppositions in this full moon chart. I feel like, we are going back into a time of restriction, but this can be also in personal life, not just society. It's a moon that will show us where we are not in mastery of our thoughts and our emotions. Really with this overarching theme that we are to find a way or ways to remain calm within the storm and to be knowledgeable and educated about what's going on, but to not let what is going on in the outside world define your inner emotional life. Now, the thing about this chart, there are two sort of ways out, so to speak, in the chart. The first one I'd like to discuss is Neptune, because Neptune is in a position in this chart where if we access its higher vibrational state, right? Because Neptune, lower vibrational, is addictions, lies, deceit, illusion, confusion, floods, right? Pandemics. High vibe of Neptune is that unbreakable faith and trust that there is a higher source, a higher power within you that guides you and is guiding you through step by step. So there's, off the bat, right, this challenge to remain in a state of faith and trust that what is happening as it should for your soul expansion, for your ultimate growth and the ultimate fulfillment of your purpose. And I feel like this moon also, it is going to be challenging us to, in a way, like redefine our purpose, because we have a lot of the larger planets that are going to be in retrograde or are in retrograde. This idea of what you've worked so hard for, does it now own you? And what are the higher ideals around work ethic? It's an interesting one that's going to be coming up. Also, this idea of what is your responsibility to your community and what is your responsibility to that deepest part of your identity. So this is where there's conflict around perhaps what some of these restrictions may mean. And overall, it's a moon that will impassion your desire for sovereignty and really your sense of who you are as an individual. Like what is it that makes you unique is exactly what is going to get you through this very challenging time where we have this Saturn-Uranus square, even up and, through next year, we're going to be feeling that energy. So the next way out, meaning how to release some of this tension that the full moon can be bringing up, because we've been feeling it for 3 days, we'll feel it for 3 days after, but we'll actually have another full moon in Aquarius in August, on August 22nd. So, whatever is coming up now, we're gonna have another opportunity to cleanse and clear it. It is very much a time to think about what, with all full moons, they illuminate what needs to shift and change. So there could be some aspects of, whether within your psyche or around you, things that you need to banish, to let go of, to really put in the trash bin. And that's going to be personal for each and every one of us. But it's a real call to address the fears and anxieties that we have about the future. They rob us of our sense of faith and trust and peace and harmony. So that relationship between the fears of what's happening and what is going to happen in this opposition to our inner state that is actually creating the future. So we have these fears of what is going to happen in the future, but it's our internal emotional state that is creating that anyway. So if you're buying into the fears and the anxieties, you're more likely going to see more situations that are going to bring more fear and anxiety up. So this is like a workout. This is like a spiritual workout moon, and really for the rest of the summer. Maybe it's never going to let up, you know? Maybe right now this is what the time is about. So I'm going to pull some cards, some oracle cards. What do we need to see about this full moon, and how can we engage with it in its highest vibrational state? Door to romance. This is fascinating. Remember I was telling you guys, like, 2020 was not the year to be coupling. It was the year to really be clearing and cleansing so that you could actually be in a frequency that your soulmate or your partner, the highest vibrational version of that, would be in, and really trying to embody that state yourself. If you did that work, if you took what 2020 gave us and really used it to realign yourself with your deepest inner desires, truths, and values, then this moon could be a moon that you are really going to see the product of your efforts. And that could be not just in, like, you know, romance and great sex, but it could also be in that sense of being in love with the world. You know, I have a lot of people who are commenting on this. You know, even though it's very chaotic out there, people are experiencing these waves of bliss and love. And indeed, that's what all this light is bringing in. It's stirring the pot, but it's also awakening a higher consciousness, which is more rooted in love and joy. And our job is to align with that frequency however we can. So door to romance. This weekend could hold an opportunity where you meet someone new, someone who may be unusual because of this Aquarian energy, but someone who is truly aligned with, you know, your philosophy on life or your spirituality, or maybe this person really sees, you know, your inner genius, and that which makes you unique, this person may also see and love. This could also speak of friendship, because Aquarius is a sign that rules friendship. It rules the 11th house of groups, friends, and this could be, and actually, you know, when I was talking about the way out, deep, intimate bonds with friends is also a theme of this moon, but going through the rest of the summer, where really nurture the friendships that make you feel good, your soul tribe. They could really be showing up this year. In fact, the people that we are meeting or realigning with this year could really see us through the rest of our lives. And this idea of what is community, and yes, it could be, because we're all connected with the web, right? It could be that it's a digital community and it's through internet and social media. But because we have Uranus and Taurus is such a focus on the material world and the body, this is a time to be with your friends. And especially if there's more shutdowns coming, really get in there, get your hugs in, have that, you know, one-on-one tea time where, you know, you're just pouring your souls out to each other, and tell people you love them. You know, the more you express your love, your joie de vivre, the more that's going to come back to you, right? You're the creator of the soup, the vibe you're in. On the bottom of the deck, we have victory. So most of you watching this are people who are doing the deep internal work, and you've been letting go of programming, trauma, pain, resentment, anger, you know, the desire for like a one-uppance, comeuppance, or revenge. You've been working to release it. If you've been doing that, this moon could be a victory on massive levels. And And particularly, I want to focus on the feeling of I rose above. I took the high road. I am victorious because I didn't take the bait, because I am disengaging from petty drama. I am disengaging from the negative self-talk. I am rerouting how I speak to myself and therefore others. This victory also comes from being aware, having the inner knowing of what it is that you truly want. That could look like material things, or you want the relationship, but how do you want to feel? If you know how you want to feel, you can then embody that frequency before these things or people have actually come into your life, and then you accelerate the timeline that you're on. This moon, if we look at challenges, opposition, as opportunities to expand, because we're gonna have to think outside the box, either to change how we feel about a situation so we have peace, or to find solutions that are gonna be win-win for everyone, and ultimately have us feeling like, this idea of Saturn being the planet of like adulting, really like getting off on that adulting and feeling really good about the structures, the discipline, and the responsibilities. This idea of sovereignty, and what's the difference between, having responsibilities and being in subservience. The difference. Responsibility, we are empowered by that. Subservience, we are in the victim mode. So think about that polarity while we're in this moon. Okay, I got some new decks. I'm going to start with this one. What else do we need to see about this full moon in Aquarius? What it has to teach us, how we can maximize its highest vibrational energies to upgrade and up-level each and every area of our life. Okay, let's see. Whoa. Giraffe. Now, okay, off the bat, I've been saying that a lot in this video. Off the bat, Giraffe has that higher view, right? The rising above. Looking for the solution that is outside of the box because it's above the sort of anything petty. I also, think of giraffe. Wow, there's fascinating creatures. Let's see what this deck actually says about it. Okay, sees far into the future, ability to reach things that are unreachable to others, communication, intuition, ability to remain above chaos. You can't make this stuff up. So what I was talking about was this ability to remain in serenity, in bliss, even though the storm is raging around you. I mean, this is what all the avatars of the great spiritual teachings have been, trying to impress upon us as a collective for eons, that ultimately, if you can do this, if you can maintain your sense of peace and joy and happiness, the outside world has to start reflecting that. It's a cosmic law. So in reality, the more of us that are doing this, the more things are going to change. And not necessarily maybe calm down, but these changes will be creating better circumstances ultimately in the long run. So that is one of our major purposes, all of us here, is to maintain that juicy place where we are still attracting all the best for ourselves and those we love and our world, because we're seeing it. We're staying in that frequency of positivity, even when we're being fed a lot of scary stuff. And at the end of the day, who knows what's actually going on? And I think that's part of this Neptune energy, that what the truth is, we're not going to really know until we see the ramifications of the last, many decades. So that's all coming, though. I do believe that. Next deck, Language of Flowers Oracle. What else do we need to see about this full moon? How do we max it out? How do we use it? Woo! Strength, wild sunflower. For those of you who watch these videos, weekly, this is fascinating. We had this at the beginning of the summer where, the sunflower, it moves with the sun and it turns its face wherever the sun is moving in the sky. This teaching from this plant is exactly also what, our giraffe is telling us as well. Turn your face upwards to the light being the good feelings, the faith in the higher power, nurturing the friendships, bringing joy to others, being of service, not focusing on all the darkness that we could focus on. This also brings up this idea that there is, this idea that we've all been taught that there is an opposing force, that there is something that is working against humanity, that there is something working, the darkness. Now, I believe that we are coming into a stage developmentally as a collective where we have to let go of that idea. It doesn't mean that we're not aware and we're not educating ourselves, but we have the ability as a collective to dissolve that polarity, and we could do it quite quickly. But it takes a discipline and a focus to stay on that positive energy path. And it means that we have to cultivate our bodies in a certain way to hold that positive vibration, meaning what we eat, drink, take in our mind, our eyes, our brain, all of this matters because it's either going to help you keep your focus on the light, or it's going to make it more difficult. Sunflower, strength. The ability to stand and be beautiful and present and powerful in your positivity, even when circumstances around you would indicate that maybe you should be afraid and anxious. So it is a tall order, but it is the order, and that's not going to go away. Like, this is the long haul. So what do you need to let go of? Because full moons are about letting go, so that you can be this giraffe and this sunflower, focusing on the higher vibrational state, removing yourself from the chaos, being, in the world, but not of the world. Like, yes, these are circumstances, but we know the power of physics in it, and, metaphysics, it's all showing us we actually have all the power and control to change things. We have to align with those frequencies, though. Okay, 2 more decks to go. Hope you're enjoying yourself. I feel like this full moon, we need to really dig deep into it and really, access. The more you are inquisitive about how you can use these cosmic energies, the more they open up to you. So ask questions to your guides, angels, higher self, whatever it is that you connect with. Ask to be shown how you can be strong in your positive vibration. What do you need to let go of? And let's see if this deck, the White Eagle Medicine Wheel, Native American Wisdom as a Way of Life, what do these elders and wise ones have to say to us today about this moon? Well, we got 3. I'm going to go with snake first. The shedding of the old, even when we end something that was ultimately bad for us, or that we didn't like, or like a chapter ends and we're glad it ended, it's surprising that grief still exists around those things. So there could be, this old way of life where we gossip to bond, where we're addicted to fear because at least we're not bored. These patterns and paradigms are being, ripped from us. And the longer we postpone that the harder it's going to be, the more grief there will be around it. So snake is the symbol of that constant rebirth, that death and rebirth process that, you know, we go through in the moon cycle. Like now we're at the full moon, but it's going to start waning and we go back into the new moon phase where it's dark and we're internal, and then we build back up into, you know, this full illumination that we're in right now. Asking, you know, what parts of me do I need to put to bed? What habits, what thought patterns, what ideas? I just want to keep going back to this idea that there's some evil force out there working against you when everything is a reflection of what is within. So if you're really feeling that, then it's a clarion call to really work with what are these parts of yourself that may be self-sabotaging what you truly want, your happiness. Then we got rabbit. Rabbit is the symbol of fertility and sex. Right? Again, there could be, you know, oftentimes when it's most chaotic, if you look through history, there's this element of people start making love. People start falling in love, start making babies. But this also is about the creativity that comes through trials and errors and like really intense times on the planet. You know, after that, the massive plague of the Middle Ages came the Renaissance. And so this is saying there is a Renaissance coming. Are you aligned with it? Get in touch with your creativity. This is a great time with all this energy in Leo as well. The sun now in Leo, Mars still in Leo, to go out there and sing, dance, paint. And then we got Otter. This is friendship. This is another, you know, instance where we are being told to go deep into our bonds. So thank you all so much for viewing. If you have any questions, you can email me at info@thegoodwoo.org. I hope this moon blesses and enriches you and really shows you what is the next best step for you being able to align with that juicy center that is always available to you. Thanks so much.